welcome back to the channel, fool. Thanks for tapping in. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe with videos like this.
Here it is. This is a picture that this lady captured. A video, because I know this lady doesn't seem like, yeah, I'm gonna do this for money. Nope. And she's showing on her phone when she took the picture that her daughter was swimming. You can clearly see more people there. Are you seeing it right now? Really, this is very real. And there was two of them. There were two girls that they were swimming, but you can clearly see there those two beings, and there's actually more than two. That's one right there, and the one is very visible, and then that one on there. Si se fijan que son más de uno, vean las manos de ese. This is very real. Esto es muy real, y quien no lo crea, pues I'm sorry for you. Lo siento mucho por ti si no crees. Pero aquí están las evidencias.
Qué padre, sí.
Una esfera.
¿La acercaste? Pero de aquí no.
Aquí la estoy viendo.
Wow, ahorita no la enseño.
¿Qué onda? Una esfera, mira.
Ya viste. Ay,
Ya
la
se
tapó
escondió.
la nube. No, fue la nube. Síguele viendo, Leti, por si cuando se quite la nube todavía hay vida, o para ver si...
Any solid explanation, guys?
Okay, this is from 1972. Okay, tell me what brothers you see. These are two brothers, and you know them. Tell me who they are.
I was in the Ireland airport on a layover and sitting just having something to eat, and there was a woman who walked by who was clearly from the insectoid faction. And I was aware like that these beings exist, but I have never seen one in the flesh. And she walked by several times because she was at her gate and she was going to the washroom. And if someone wasn't aware of these beings, they still would have noticed the oddness of this woman because she was very, very tall and she had like a bone structure that isn't human.
Say, if y'all ever stand in Ocean El Faro in Punta Cana, make sure y'all check y'all water bottles. It's like a syringe type going on. These are water bottles that was left in the room in the refrigerator, the complimentary joints. That's crazy.
He looks easy to draw.
Who owns Mr. Beast? How did Mr. Beast go from 10 million to 100 million subscribers? Well, he's owned by this company called Night Media. The same company that manages Kai Cenat, Hassan Piker, Costco guys, Drewski, and who's their president? Ezra Cooper Stein. And guess who invested $100 million into Night Media? The Chernin Group, owned by Peter Chernin. And guess what Peter Chernin and Alex Cooperstein have in common? Behind that smile, there's always someone that sacrificed something.
Angie Stone did a live where she said her parent company owed her royalties that they had not paid her. She said they owed her multiple millions of dollars, and she said she was going to get her money and expose the label. I'm going to get my money, and I'm going to expose the label. And then that was in December 2024. February 28th, Art Black History Month, final day. She's performing in Alabama. March the 1st, she's driving with her entourage to the next destination. And all of a sudden, they get into an accident. And the media reports that Angie Stone dies in a car accident. And she's the only member of her entourage who dies in the car accident. And then we find out, Art, that she didn't die in the car accident. A snow bunny helped her out of the car. Because Angie Stone was discombobulated, according to the woman who helped her out, she told her to sit on the side of the road. Look at this, Art. Sit on the side of the road. As soon as she tells Angie Stone to sit on the side of the road, an 18-wheeler crosses the median on the highway, Art. An 18-wheeler crosses the median on the highway and runs Angie Stone over, killing her and nobody else. Help me understand, Art, what are the chances that you get into a car accident, you climb out, so the first attempt was unsuccessful, Art. The first attempt was unsuccessful. She was supposed to be unalived in that accident. She climbs out. You know how we know that? Because the media had already reported she passed in a car accident, Art. The media had already reported it.
Are they in front of a green screen? Look at the distortion when they move. Doesn't look like they tilt their heads up either.
I put the car in drive, bro. No way, bro. It's not a fight, bro. Believable, bro. In the heat, bro. Well, I say they gonna think I did something. Yo, son, I didn't even see this side, bro. Jacked up. Nah, boy. It's over today.
Just wait for the cockroach edition.
Yo, what the fuck? A former NASA engineer just claimed Earth is covered in trillions of invisible alien devices, and that there are hidden alien surveillance networks already operating across the entire planet. Richard Bundred, a former NASA propulsion engineer, just dropped some serious claims that most people haven't even heard of. Now, he says what we are seeing in the skies, the UFOs, the flying triangles, even the disappearances, are not the full story. Now, according to him, the real issue is what we can't see. Now, he claims trillions of tiny alien-made devices are cloaked all around the world, in the air, on the ground, maybe even near you, and that they are capable of shape-shifting and blending into any environment. Now, he worked with the US government in private research groups, and he says the tech is so advanced, it's literally hundreds of years ahead of what we have now. Now, some of these materials literally turn into dust when they're being studied, like they're designed to self-destruct to keep us from figuring them out. He even warned that all of this could be part of a long-term manipulation of our species. If he's right, this isn't just about aliens visiting Earth, folks. It's about them being here and already watching. What do you think, though? Are we finally waking up to the truth? Or is this just a big part of the bigger setup?
There are ceremonies in Santeria, in the culture, Cuban culture, Latin culture, Dominican culture. They're called sweats, okay? And when I was younger, I went to a sweat, and that's where they pinch a tent, and they burn hot stoves, and you pretty much almost naked. And the whole intention is to give all the spirits a chance to come through you and in you. And that's why I knew the spirit realm is real. That's how I knew demons are real. But when I was young, I didn't know those were demons. Well, you're packed. I was packed inside this tent, and they're praying to. Okay, one thing I want people to know in Santeria, there are 9 principalities, okay? And these 9 principalities are the principalities that run the whole world. And what happens is each year, at the end of each year, they shift different places. So each principality takes over a new territory on the earth. And when this happens, you give praise and worship to these new principalities that shift positions. And a lot of people, when we have these sweats, it is an honor of the new principality ushering in that new principality that's coming in over a certain territory. Okay, now on this occasion, I was in the sweat, a ceremony, and there were just tons of just rocks. It's an altar, okay? It's a form of an altar, but it's an altar. And, you know, you get to a point of it, and everyone's chanting and chanting. And I don't want to say those names because people don't realize when you say these demonic names, they actually can come into your life and your portal. So I'm just going to say one of these principalities were being ushered in to the sweat ceremony, to the ritual. And as I'm looking, there was the altar, and this altar of hot stones, that's what gives off the heat to make everybody sweat. But this stones, the smoke that was coming from it started to become solid, okay? Now, as I'm looking at it becoming solid, it started to form of the shape of a body. You can start to see the legs, the upper body, the arms. And I'm looking like, wait a minute, I had to kind of focus my eyes. But the more I'm looking at it, this thing is solidifying. It's becoming solid, okay? And now you can start clearly see a form of a young, beautiful lady. I mean, one of the most beautiful ladies I've ever seen in my life. I'm not going to lie to you. But she just started manifesting into a solid form, okay? Even then you can start to see the color. She had a white robe on. She was pretty much like my complexion, maybe a little darker, long, silky hair, but she completely formed out of smoke. And one thing, yes, this is
into a real body, into a physical body?
Physical body. Okay. And one of the high priestesses that came up grabbed her hand and she stepped out from the smoke down. And they said, "Welcome, sister. Thank you for coming and joining us today." But I was so petrified that I squirmed my way through this ceremony and just took off running. I mean, I took off. Yeah, I couldn't even, because it reminded me of the same fear. Spiritual fear and physical fear are 2 different elements. It's way more magnified. That's why some people who get haunted by demonic forces and things, it's a different terror. It's not even fear. It's outside the realm of regular fear that we experience here on earth. It's outside this dimension. That's why it's more powerful.
The firmament that we are stuck up under, it will open. Will we see the actual planets that, we speak about? Is it hidden behind the firmament?
The planets is actually beyond the ice wall. You have plasma vortexes that have concentric circles that take you through stargates to get beyond the firmament. But in order to get beyond the firmament, you got to be energetically balanced from the heart and the mind. Ever since from 1943, 53, 63, all the way up until the year of 2043, which is also a 9-year, which is the year of completion, that's when the firmament is going to break open. And right above it, you're going to see the mothership, and the mothership is going to extract their children in the so-called rapture, because when you look at the prefix of the word rapture, you get Ra, which is the sun. It's an energy extraction.
It's an actual ship that we will see.
What I'm saying is that when you got the firmament is what creates physical existence. The firmament is why you can see phones, you can see your arm and shit like that. But if you take away the firmament, all you're gonna see is energy. There's no use for the body. When you trap light, that creates physical matter. Those are subatomic particles. This is why sometimes when you sneeze, that's the closest thing that you get to death, because when you sneeze, that's when the heart stops at 0 point energy, because when you sneeze, you see particles, and those particles are subatomic particles. And when they condense together, that's what creates physical matter. So when you start to see death, you can see particles and atoms and everything start to split, because it's the illusion. If the firmament breaks open, that's going to be an energy extraction of those who are connected to the ether core of planet Earth.
This is the mineral sunscreen by Hampton Sun. It's perfect for black skin, so they say. And it's sheer, notice? I checked my bag for this $30 bottle.
Look at yourself. I need you to look in.
And someone's trying to get a day off.
They got her. They got her, you guys. What is going on? Who the heck is this? Who the heck are you, lady? This isn't the Jenna Ortega I remember. This is in London for the premiere of Wednesday Addams 2. I can't. This is Jenna Ortega maybe 2 years ago before the transformation started happening, and here she looks like the Jenna Ortega we remember. There was the light in her eyes, there was joy, there was personality, and now it's just not there anymore. Vacant, gone. The light in the eyes does not exist. And that jawline is questionable. That's like the same jawline Matt Rife got, or Adele, or Kelly Osbourne or something. What the heck are these people doing? My friend Strange Zone, I'll tag his profile right here, sent me the video of Jenna Ortega at this premiere, and he's even questioning it. I'm so glad some people are waking up, but how can so many people not see the difference from this to this? You guys want to say it's growing up. I have never seen anybody in the real world grow up like this. How does a celebrity with so much light in her eyes, so much beauty, go from this to this? And I don't want to hear it's the eyebrows. Something is going on. What are they doing to them? What is going on in Hollywood?
The world that you're seeing isn't the true world. All of this that I'm seeing right now is just a virtual reality. It's like you were born with a headset on playing a video game. That's your reality. But if you're the programmer who wrote the code for the game, you know that there's an entire world outside of it, and as the programmer, you can do miracles.
And do you think we're getting closer to being able to edit the code?
That's exactly what I'm working on right now. And we're opening up a realm of new technologies that are far more powerful than anything we've seen before, like time travel. And nuclear bombs will be like firecrackers.
Will people suffer?
So it's like Pandora's box. There's all sorts of nasty surprises, but they also could be miraculous. But either way, just in the last few months, it started to crack open.
So let's talk about that.
Okay, so according to Darwin's theory, our sensory systems, eyes, ears, smell, touch, are not shaped to show us the truth. They were shaped to keep you alive long enough to reproduce successfully. Because seeing the truth takes too much time and energy. And so whatever reality is, it's utterly unlike anything that I perceive.
Well, what does this all mean for the nature of how one should understand their life?
Well, if you're stuck in a boring world, that's a world of your own creation. That's not the real world. And my conscious experiences are nothing but what my brain creates. And so we feel inadequate, and we feel like we need to compete with other people. But you're the inventor of this whole thing. You have nothing to prove. And there are much more interesting perspectives that we can take on ourselves. So if you really knew who you are, you would see no need to compare or compete. And if you want to understand the truth of who you are beyond just this headset description of you, then you have to...
But there is a
not yet
A-list female that we've all heard of. We've all heard of.
Not a musician, though.
No.
Okay.
Well...
She's from L.A. She's from L.A.
Yes.
Okay.
A-list female. I'll give you another hint. This is something I've never said before. She's white.
I know.
You know what I'm talking about right now?
I have a few names that's floating.
Okay, so A-list white female that everyone in the world has heard of more or less.
Okay, what's her thing? Because I've heard of a few of them, and they'll pay younger black.
One of the male escorts that I interviewed told me this off camera, didn't want to get on camera and say this, said that he was paid to do like a party for her. And a couple days later, she paid him while her soon-to-be husband watched.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And he thinks that the husband is gay, based on, I don't know, was he jacking off? I said, no, he just stood there and watched. But I kind of got sort of like a gay type of vibe from him.
Is no one gonna bring up the fact that 8.8 earthquake that just happened in Kamchatsky, Russia, is the same place where Stranger Things takes place out in Russia, where they're experimenting on Demogorgons and ripping gates open in the space-time continuum? Yeah, I think we need to go save Ozzy from the upside down.
I don't know how the dog not coming.
It's so really. He's looking at me and I'm looking at him. Look.
That is nasty.
Everyone gets their meat from Walmart.
Show me what you see, babe.
I just want to let you know, not everything is as it seems in Vegas. That's where the souls go in, right there.
What do you
In case
mean?
you were wondering, this is a haunted place right now.
This mall?
Yes. Everything's unconscious here. Everything's an illusion.
But it's a spiritual place.
No, it's not spiritual at all. It sucks in celestials into the AI and everything. And these things are built
To harvest energy.
to harvest energy.
Interesting.
Energy harvesting tools.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
La gente gritando fin del mundo. Wow, está más horrible. En serio. Horrible, horrible, horrible.
Yo, Peru's atmosphere just flipped into apocalyptic mode. Now, this is very strange because this is abnormal for Peru. I've seen this in different parts of the world, but not in Inca, y'all. The guy says they have been experiencing this since Wednesday, and this is 3 days later, y'all. He's saying this is not normal and they need help. What is going on here?
Esto está muy mal. Esto de acá ya no es normal. Ya no es normal, mi hermano. Hasta los ojos me arden. Hasta los ojos me arden, mi hermano.
He's saying it's very bad. It's not normal. His eyes are burning. It's in the wind, and they need help. What is going on?
Estamos acá, en el apocalipsis. El apocalipsis es el Ica. El apocalipsis es el Ica. Qué mierda, literal.
Y'all, they said it feels like it's burning their lungs, y'all. This is total recall. Look how orange the atmosphere is. And it is so bad, y'all. Everyone has to wear a mask because they said the smell is so intense. It literally feels like it's burning their lungs.
3 de la tarde en Ica, esta es la plaza de armas. Y como vemos, muchos han tenido que ya sacar las mascarillas.
Just look at the intensity of this, y'all. Look at the sheer pressure of this wind. And again, y'all, this thing looks like total recall. Look at the sheer size of this sandstorm as it makes its way into Ica, Peru, y'all. It went from day to night in just a matter of seconds. This is crazy. Y'all, I think this is the times that we are in right now, y'all. We're in the times of revelation.
If I would eat the meal that they gave me in the flight, not only my glucose shoot up, but it would stay up for hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to fast on every plane trip now. It's just not worth eating
I do the
plane
same.
food.
I mostly do
Yeah.
that, or I'll take some stuff myself,
Yes.
but I will. In fact, I'm a very chatty person, so I was getting up when I was chatting to the cabin service director, and he basically said the stuff that needs to be added to plane food so that you find it tasty at altitudes, if you knew, you wouldn't touch anything on here. And he doesn't. He brings his own food. He's been flying for like 25 years.
Wow.
He also doesn't drink sparkling water or any fizzy drinks because he said we all know as air hosts and air hostesses that bloats you.
Yeah.
He said, you know what happens to those crisp packets where they all puff out? That's what's happening inside our guts as well. It was quite interesting, that conversation. I already wasn't eating plain food anyway.
Yeah.
But that made me even more convinced.
That makes total sense because it just feels like the food has a tremendous amount of additives to it.
Ai, meu Deus do céu! Vocês estão entendendo o quanto de jacaré tem aqui? Ai, meu Deus. Eu tô na barraca literalmente pra acampar. Vamos dormir aqui, guys? Ai, ferrou meu...
What can you even realistically do in this situation?
Have you ever seen the Starlink satellites? Have you ever looked up and see the line of satellites?
You can't see satellites with the naked eye, so no.
Oh, people say you can. I saw them. Starlink, you can.
Take a medium-sized car and
I'm with you.
And drive it 500 miles away and tell me if you can see it.
I'm with you 100%.
No, satellites from physics, from the perspective of physics, unless they have some kind of illumination, which they don't, cannot be seen by the naked eye.
We gotta get him on the lives working with us.
Wait a minute, hang on a second here, guys.
You got to come over to Angel. He's on TikToks.
No. Okay, maybe.
Matthew, I want you to remember.
All right, no, I have never seen the Starlink satellites because it's impossible.
What you just said is true.
Yeah.
Okay, but here they are, and I've seen them myself. Now, this was 2 years ago. I saw.
No, those can't be satellites.
I'm with you, but this is what they tell us they are.
Balloons, maybe?
They're local. They're not far away.
Drones?
Yes. Don't know. Not sure. But they're not satellites because, as you pointed out, the Starlink size is smaller than a 747's engine.
So, can you see from over there?
Yeah.
This is a voltmeter, see?
Voltmeter. Got it.
Up?
Yeah.
All right. Is it lighting up now?
Not at the moment.
All right.
Grounding.
Is it lighting up?
No. What? Grounding. Grounding works. Is that your spirit or scientific experiment?
Yeah.
That's
I have my shoes on, there's
no
no voltage.
grounding.
Pull it out the window.
That's crazy.
As a quick side note, one of the fallen angels in the 3 volumes of Vedic, one of the fallen angels was called Cosmetic. Wait a minute now. Cosmetic. The other one was called Mascara. I kid you not. Wait a minute now. But now the CIA has invested millions of dollars in the cosmetic industry.
Real quick, everyone is saying you're AI. Are you AI?
How do I prove I'm not AI?
I don't know nowadays with like technology and stuff. Like, what do you think's the best way to prove you're?
Yeah.
Okay, no, you might be AI, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Straight like that. They gon' I'm cut filter, bro. Sorry, Lord, for cursing. Look, though. They gon' bro, when you get AIDS, bro. And when you come back, you gonna be famous. When you come back from getting sick, you gonna be more famous than ever. You gonna go up more than ever. My mom straight like that. So I'm like, what?
That's crazy, man.
So I'm like, what? I'm like, for real, he started giving me a whole list of artists.
Is Lucifer the god of the Freemasons? Yes. To join Freemasonry, you have to be invited. You can't just join it. And the general sort of understanding is that this is going to be very good for business, for social interaction, for your career.
So they allow you to worship like Jehovah or Yahweh?
You can worship any god you want, but that's the only qualification. Because they're going to convert whoever they are over to worshiping the great architect of the universe, Hail El, Satan. AI has the same destination whether you're doing it for good or evil. So it's like good magic and black magic.
Do these people know that they're advancing a system that has been prophesied as having to happen for the rise of the Antichrist, or do they not?
The fallen angels continue to tell their offspring, their descendants of their offspring, that they can still win.
Is there a hierarchy for these things like Illuminati, Freemasons?
The fairy tale concept goes back many years for when they're ready to reveal things that we would accept it more easily, and they can tell us that They told us, we just didn't understand. This fairy tale concept, both Tolkien and Lewis were talking about, is they consider the Bible a fairy tale because they both said so. I'll show you their doctrines and the fruits of their works. And if they ever became Christian, they never recanted their writings. Many Freemasons are witches. Why? Because they're adepts, and they are leading the setting up of new towns. They're there to set up their legal claim to the new continent. When Moses dies, we have Satan showing up to claim his body. That's because he is initiated at Heliopolis. People confuse and conflate wrath and tribulation.
You said you don't want to live through it.
No.
Do you think you will?
Probably.
People have to get over the fear of death in all connotations, because if you know what is really going to happen, you won't be fearful.
Is this cap? You gotta leave a comment.
You heard about the radioactive wasps, right? That ain't clickbait. That's real. They found these little demon bugs near some old nuclear test site, just buzzing around like it's business as usual. Only now, they glow. Not metaphorically, literally. Like God dipped them in neon and said, "Go be chaos." But that's not even the scary part. You get stung, your nervous system shuts down like a cheap laptop. You start drooling, shaking, eyes roll back, and then you get up. But it ain't you anymore. It's like your soul clocked out and something else clocked in. Something hungry, twitchy, and ready to chew a face off without asking questions. Now, let me say this for the trust the science crowd. If nature's out here making zombie wasps because we kept poking holes in the earth, maybe, just maybe, the planet's done playing nice. They tried to contain it. Yeah, good luck quarantining a creature with wings, rage, and zero respect for your CDC protocols. Meanwhile, half of y'all are still out here arguing whether the Earth's flat or if birds are real, while the real enemy is building a hive under a Walmart parking lot. Yeah, this ain't about survival anymore. It's about who can stop doom scrolling long enough to realize we're one sting away from biting our neighbor's face off on live TV. But hey, keep eating your fast food, keep ignoring the signs. Just remember, when you hear buzzing at the window, it might not be Amazon Prime. It might be evolution coming back for its receipt.
My father, when he was about 91, I think, he told my sisters, he said, hey, I don't think I want to live anymore, you know. And I don't mind telling you the story because it helped him so much, right? He couldn't see the TV anymore, couldn't really read the newspaper. And he thought, and he has, of course, you can imagine everything I ever made in his house, right? You know, every single thing, right? So he took this and he said, I wonder if this crazy red light would do anything at 90. And he just held it out here because it's so bright. He held it out here and moved it in and left it on for 5 minutes. And he went back into the eye doctor, and she said, I think your eyes are a little bit better. He goes, I thought they might be a little bit better. She said, what are you doing? He goes, well, I'm using this red light panel that my son made. And she goes, I heard that's awesome for eye health. Just keep doing it. Yeah. And so she said, I want to see you every 8 weeks because I want to see your progress. After, you know, I think it was like six times that she said, I can't see where your problem is. She said, I know where it was so I can see it, but none of my colleagues would ever see it. Your eyesight is excellent. And so he went into the VA and he walked in and said, hey, can you test my eyes? And the lady said, sure. Yeah, we'll test them. So she tests them and she says like, something's wrong with the machine. And he says, what do you mean? She says, well, the last lady was in here. She was 40 and her eyes were perfect. So, you know, let me take a shot of yours again. And you know how they flash it and take a picture of the back. And he said, okay, fine. He kind of set her up, you know. And she says, sir, the back of your eyes look like you're 40 years old.
What is a shadow person?
So it's never been a person. It's never been human. Sometimes people think that these are, a shadow of a ghost or something. That is not what shadow people are. They are something that can change form to look like a shadow streak or a shadow cloud. And if you see its eyes, they're usually slanted and they glow red.
Now, what about the Hat Man?
He can step out from the shadows and you can see his skin. You could see if he's clean shaven. You could see if he's, got how his hair is. I mean, so he could change, but he is the epitome of evil. And he wears a 3-piece suit, sometimes a trench coat, sometimes a cape, and he talks. Like shadow people, they might whisper, or you might hear a moaning or something. But Hat Man, if you, I wouldn't recommend engaging with him, but if you talk to him and he talks back, you wish that you never spoke to him.
Does the Hat Man have form?
He does. And I mean, he is as dark as they come. And if you ask him who he is, he will tell you he's the devil himself.
How many people do you think know about shadow people?
Oh, gosh.
Hat Man.
It's in the millions.
Right there. Oh, you'll see the guy. You got it.
Don't scream, bro. Look at his foot in the back, guys. Come on, guys. Seriously, I'm good at what I do. I'm telling you, man. I've researched this up and down. Watch the guy walking down his foot. So we're looking like here? Yes, sir. You'll see it. Next step. It's all fake, dude. These are all actors. It's all fake. This is footage from Calvin on trial. And notice the man's foot disappeared in the background, CGI. Below is a link to the full video. It can be seen in 1924. Brother, you know, I spot this stuff on TV all the time, you guys. So this is... 33? Look. 33. Here we go. He's walking through. This guy. Not this guy. The other That guy. 1, 2. So this is the original footage, not edited, not nothing. NBC Chicago. And then 3 years ago, 6.8 million views. This is not an artifact, guys. I don't know what it is. I know what it is. It's a fake AI courthouse.
They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats.
It's funny you should say that, John, because there is, in fact, a little-known horror story that takes place in the cabin that we shot Evil Dead in. This cabin was built about 100 years ago, and the man who built it died maybe a week after he built the place. And it's located in this valley surrounded by these mountains that have an incredible amount of iron ore in them, so that during thunderstorms, most of the lightning bolts are attracted to this valley. So it's really an incredible thing to see when you're there during a storm. Well, no one lived in this cabin for the next 20 years. And it was probably around 1910 or so when a family of 3 moved into the place. A mother, daughter, and a grandmother. So really 3 generations of women. One night during a thunderstorm, this little girl woke up and she was scared by all the lightning happening around the cabin. So she ran into her mother's room, and pulling back the covers to climb into bed with her, she found that her mother was dead. Well, she was so frightened, she ran screaming into her grandmother's room, and somehow that same evening, she had died also during the night. And they still don't really know why both of these women would simultaneously die in this place. Well, the little girl ran out into the storm about 4 miles to the nearest farmhouse through this raging thunderstorm out through the night, and they found her screaming, banging on their doors, and they brought her inside and they got the story from her. Well, they took care of her after that, and no one lived in the cabin since. The people at the farmhouse raised this little girl. She had never been the same since, and during thunderstorms, she would oftentimes wander off from this cabin, and they would find her wandering around in the woods. And sometimes, well, here's where we come into the story. The Tennessee Film Commission said, yes, we've got this one cabin that's the cows have knocked down, it's full of dung, but you can use it. But it's haunted. We said, well, that sounds fun. So we went there. As we were shooting, the fella from this farm came by, and he told us the story of exactly what happened and how his folks had taken in this little girl who is now a very old woman, and that because there had been this thunderstorm the night before, he was looking for this woman because it's possible she had returned to this cabin. And as far as we know, they never found the woman while we were down there shooting, and she could still be roaming those woods around Morristown, Tennessee. The strangest part of the story is that a week after we left the cabin in Tennessee, as reported by the Tennessee Film Commission, a bolt of lightning hit the cabin and it burned to the ground.
There's a guy by the name of Dr. Roger Lear. Roger Lear had a program called Hacking the Alien Internet. He have documentaries in a book where he's a surgeon. He removed implants out of people's bodies. Some of the implants would move away from the scalpel inside the body. They set up equipment to monitor the frequencies. These implants were sending signals off-world. Who they sending the signals to? Why is it that in these same implants, some of the metals and isotopes don't even exist on Earth? How is that possible? Why is it that on every continent of the Earth, all the indigenous people are black people? Where did the white human come from? Why is it that everywhere they go, they're in a rush to harvest all the natural materials and all the resources? Why are they the best group of killers our planet ever seen? How can they organize themselves so well, better than everybody else? Why do they want to colonize every place that they go, like they never been here before? Things you gotta think about.
So KFC in itself is a basic anagram of, right? If you just switch those around the other way. Well, also
is the old grandfather image on that a trigger as well?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. And the grandfather image on there, if somebody from Asia looks at this man's face, it looks Asian to them. If a white person looks at it, it looks white to them. Right. It's very, very cleverly done like that. And the man who was behind KFC doesn't quite look like that, but he was also a master programmer, handler, slave handler. And when the trauma was done by him, you would be shown a face of this KFC, the actual thing. So you'd keep flash that face, so you'd keep being drawn to it.
There's footage that resurfaced from the Met Gala about someone from the royal family. People are looking at this footage of, I think her name is Princess Beatrice.
Okay.
Now there's videos of her at the Met Gala that resurfaced, and people are saying she looks a little bit too much like a robot here. Check this out. People are saying something is a bit off here, and she doesn't seem or look real.
Wait, but this girl is still like healthy and living, right? But they just wanted to test.
Yes.
Oh, that's a robot.
Something going on, right?
No human, unless you're stoned out of your mind.
I have no clue. The theory is that this was a test to see if we'd be comfortable with those fake people in public. So it's just like a tester. Like, okay, let's put it out there. Let's see if anybody notices.
And why not do it on the biggest stage?
Exactly.
Like one of the big.
So people are saying she either has MK Ultra eyes, she's been brainwashed, or she might be a robot.
Threads.
Yeah. I don't know, bro.
Let me just put it blatantly to you. The program targets the birth of new babies. So once you have your baby, before your baby leaves the hospital, you no longer get a paper birth certificate, but then you get a digital one that is somehow implanted somewhere on somebody's body. Think about that, but have a listen to this.
The digital ID, which has been a big problem to us for a very long time, is now on a testing mode for the next 2 months. I have been assured by all the stakeholders, led by the ministries concerned, that by December, we will be able to launch digital ID, where every Kenyan don't have to carry any paper plastic or otherwise, as an ID, they should be able to be identified digitally.
We're taking things that are genetically modified organisms and we're injecting them in little kids.
That's literally the mark of the beast.
5 separate gases coming out of this reptilian tanker, dropping 5 gases at 300 feet. You're smoking their gas today because they dropped this gas only on technically advancing communities on the planet, okay? Every 4 to 6 weeks. So you could be getting it today. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They didn't see it because everybody's minds are controlled to not see it, just like a stealth system. So the commander of this squadron made sure that that stealth was turned on. He forgot to turn on the stealth that prevents the camera from photographing it. The reason you don't see these, they're flying all over us. There's hundreds of them. There's thousands of them every single day on your planet. They're dropping the gas. So your mind is being controlled, and you don't function normally or how you should function. We are being mind controlled, not for the last couple of weeks, but for thousands of years.
So Mark Zuckerberg just purchased another 1,000 acres in Hawaii. He quietly acquired roughly 962 to 1,000 additional acres of ranch land, paying over $65 million to boost his total property on the island to more than 2,300 acres, valued at about $300 million. Earlier this year, the latest acquisition came through a Hawaiian named LLC with purchase details hidden until recently.
That feels wrong as heck.
Zuckerberg is now among Kauai's largest landowners. The value alone matches the island's annual operating budget, around $300 to $311 million. Local concerns: some land overlaps native Hawaiian burial grounds. So these people have to sign NDAs. Basically, if there's ancestral grave sites, they legally can't say anything.
The whole NDA thing, I would speculate it's less so about like what they're getting into, like not accounting for stuff they find. It's more so like what he's building.
Yeah, like security
that.
reasons.
Yeah.
Which that interview with him on Theo Vaughn, it's like people are just blowing this out of proportion.
No, we're not, I don't think.
It's like, yeah, I do have a bunker, but like whatever.
What did you guys?
I don't drink coffee, so
Want to wrestle?
I know I said the skies in Australia were some of the most beautiful I've ever seen, but what's going on right now? Like, what is this? There's a start point like here, and it's just like a ripple effect that has just scattered. Some shading going on. Look at the shading on the ripple effect. I know there's something going on.
Ain't God, you ain't God. Right. Listen, I wish that I could tell you that you are, right? And I wish I can believe, but one thing for sure, 2 things for certain, that you won't, right? Because you got this far in life, you ain't believed yet, so you're going to die, come back in another body, right? I ain't coming back. I'm at 33, life How are you not going to come back? coming back. When you this is don't my final believe... reincarnation. What's you just touched on? What's that? What is this you just touched on? Did you just touch something?
Some wood.
Did you just touch something?
Some wood.
That's why you're coming back. That's why you come back. Because you coming back because you don't perceive this reality as fake as it is. Bend the spoon. Bend the spoon, then. Come on, bend the spoon, then. It's a game. Bend it. Show us your powers.
There's a purse made out of alligator tongue and a child spine. The child spine is actually the handle for the purse. And they're sourced from Canada with papers proving that this is actually genuine child spine. You can buy them from licensed companies. They receive human specimens donated to medicine.
Like, it's one thing to have castings, you know, like a skeleton, but then it's another thing to think you can capitalize on it. I can make a whole business off the people who fetishize human body parts. I saw that and I thought that was interesting, that the 2 things that have been massively propagated in the last 18 months has been AI's takeover of our civilization.
And children.
And children, which is really strange. I don't know if that's a correlation, but something's going on.
So dark and disturbing on so many levels.
Solomon says that God answered his prayer and sent an angel down with a ring to give him a ring, and that ring gave him power over the spiritual world. And Solomon uses it in what seems to be an attempt to help humanity. He claims that he used the authority of the ring to summon all the principalities of the world, the Nephilim, that are these disembodied spirits going around causing all this illness and different things. And he does several things. He interviews them as to what they hate, what casts them out, and like what angel is over them, that they, if that angel comes, they'll flee. Michael or Raphael or whatever, right? He writes all this stuff down, and this becomes witchcraft. For instance, one of the demons told him, I was in the land of Persia or whatever, but I left because someone was cooking fish. A fish gallbladder burning over an open fire drives me nuts. It's like putrid to me because I'm a water-based demon, and something like we don't smell burning things underwater, and so seeing it in the open air just makes me want to vomit, and so I left. Solomon's like, that's interesting information. I'm going to write that down. So if you want to repel a water demon, burn the gallbladder of a fish over an open fire in the month of June on a full moon or whatever. And that became a spell, which is where witchcraft comes from. Does that make sense?
It does.
The pentagram they use in their prayer circles is an homage to the Ring of Solomon. Solomon called it a prayer circle. He used to use the names of God, Adonai, and different powerful names of God to keep the demons from getting to him while he's playing these games with them, interviewing them. He would summon them, milk them for information, forcing them to comply with the ring, and then basically saying, okay, you go over here. He would enslave them to build the temple of God. That's why they think all these rocks, the pyramids and stuff were built by these types of things. So the Masons come out of this as well. One of the highest ranking demons that Solomon enslaves to be a worker in the temple, he makes him a stone cutter and a mason, which is where the Masonic order seems to come with this demonic. Does that make sense? It's like all tied together. So Solomon summons all these guys, writes down a list of everything they hate based on starts to categorize and map out the spiritual world for the sake of humanity being able to control them. Because at this point, these things are running around tormenting the world. Solomon's trying to get a hold of it. So he's basically the sorcerer supreme, if you think of it like that. But he realizes that you can enslave the entire spiritual world if you get their bosses. They have to follow. And now you've cleared the world of demons, and guess what he trapped them in?
What?
A brass vessel, a lamp. This is where the legend of genies comes from. It's also the idea of Pandora's box. All the evil of the world trapped in one little bitty vessel, right? He throws it into the lake, drowning them. The world prospers. His kingdom prospers. Everything's good. No evil, no wars, no nothing. Humanity, hearing the legends of this, start trying to dive the sea to figure out how to get this lamp back up so they can release these things so that they can manifest. This is like literally manifestation. This is why it's so dark and deep. Very ancient roots to these things. They want stuff. These things have power. And while they were horrible and tormenting us, they also gave us what we wanted if we worshiped them, right? So they opened Pandora's box. Solomon's still in control because of the ring. But at this time, and this is where Balaam comes back in, guess what they did to trip up Solomon? They sent a woman to cause him to fornicate, who forced him as a literal prerequisite to sleeping with him, you have to worship my foreign god. They always try to get God to punish us through our sin because they can't curse us because of the authority we have in Christ. So they released Pandora's box. Solomon's still in control, but now he's being tempted to, if you want to marry the queen, I think it was the Queen of Sheba, you have to worship Moloch. So he sacrifices to Moloch, and he said the second he did it, he said, I immediately felt the Spirit of God depart from me. He said, as I continued to do it, I felt it completely abandon me, and I became the sport of the demons I once controlled. Spent the rest of his life tormented by demons and giving into all these different things. Now that God wasn't protecting him, he became a master of witchcraft to try to force these things to not be able to. He tried to take it into his. It's like, God's abandoned me. They're going to kill me. They're going to ruin my life. I have to figure. And so he comes up with all these spells he wrote. I remember so-and-so said he hates gallbladders. And so he started, get me 3 gallbladders of this. And he basically became a sorcerer in order to ward off the demonic world, which is now at his doorstep. And this is the birth of witchcraft. Solomon really perfected the art of the modern occult through his desperation to ward off the spiritual world after God left and abandoned him.
And that's a wrap on this episode, fool. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me. Smash the subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.